No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Ben Franklin here to talk to you about water filtration. Unfiltered water in your home is no joke. Did you know tap water can shorten the life of your pipes and, even worse, be dangerous to your family's health? Our punctual plumbers can install a whole home system that filters water before it enters your pipes. Visit BenjaminFranklinPlumbing.com or call 877-BEN-1776 to request an appointment.
Go with the flow, the local pros call Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Zach here. On behalf of my friends at American Financing, let me be real with you for a minute. If you're over 50 years old and carrying credit card debt, you could be paying on that for the rest of your life. The interest rate on credit cards is 20% or more. A mortgage interest rate is much lower. So why not use your home's equity to pay off that high interest debt? American Financing is a family-owned mortgage lender, not one of those big banks where you're just a number. Their salary-based mortgage consultants will help you declutter your monthly bills into a single manageable payment. The average customer saves $800 a month, guys, and you may delay 2 mortgage payments, and you also may close in as fast as 10 days. There are no upfront fees, and there's never an obligation. Give your paycheck a raise. Call American Financing at 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000, or visit them online at americanfinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The AutoNation Flash Sale is on. For 1 week only, drive new and used cars with 0 down, plus 0 payments all summer long. We'll even buy your car and pay you top dollar on the spot. Don't miss it. Save on your favorite makes and models. 0 down plus 0 payments all summer long. Go to your nearest AutoNation now. Less stress, more go. Appraisal subject to verification. 90 days to first payment on approved credit. Interest accrues from date of purchase. See store for details. Expires 5/31/26.
What if you had the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi and the price didn't change for 5 years? Thanks to Xfinity's summer savings event, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. Now through June 15th, get gig Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 years with equipment and unlimited data included. No strings, no commitments, and get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected online from threats. Plus, you can even try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions applies, requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account, taxes and fees extra. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity Internet required, speeds vary, use of fiber, coaxial cable.
The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. Powered by Regen RX. It's The Drive with Zach By and Philip Lindsay. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight. Taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinion.
That I just feel like you get to Friday and you just sort of need to smile. You need to find a reason.
That's why I played Shout. It felt like the right time. It's a beautiful weekend. It's a beautiful weather supposed to be out there this weekend. It's a weekend hitting. It just felt right.
Yeah, it did feel right. But we still have to spend a little time on the Avs, and we will do that. We'll spend some time on the Broncos. A lot of talk about the offense, and rightly so. There is another unit that we might want to delve into. That's a little teaser as to what we'll talk about with the Broncos. And then we will talk a little baseball towards the end of the show. Might not be what you think, so stick around for the hour. Dante and I will be here until 7 o'clock. Heck of a week with the Avs, wasn't it?
Oh, my God. It almost went by in like a blink of an eye because we had the 3-day weekend last weekend. You come in here on Tuesday, it's like, wow, they're already down 3-0. Like, how did that happen? And then it was just over before it really even started in the conference final.
Yeah, they never got going. And I remember we were talking last Monday. Actually, not on Monday, last Friday, because we did not have a show on Monday. And I was like, I'm not going to forget who the Avs were. Apparently they forgot who they were all season long. And if you want to join in, as always, you know the ways to do that. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. The fan YouTube page, the YouTube chat is presented by Champ Honda. If you want to jump in on that, we will take your comments. But we do need to spend a little bit of time because we have not heard any word on Jared Bednar. There's all kinds of speculation on why, and really nobody knows. He might be coming back. He might not have heard what his fate is. The brain trust of the organization, and by that I mean Josh Kroenke along with Joe Sakic and Chris McFarland, perhaps haven't discussed it all yet. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. The guys on the drive, Zach and Phil, talked, and Drew mentioned the possibility of the Arsenal parade delaying conversations about the Avs from the standpoint of Josh Kroenke's time. So I don't know, DG, where do you come down on all this? Because that's where we will start the fate of Jared Bednar.
I think at this point he is safe. I don't think it's necessarily the right decision. In my opinion, it's time. Bednar's been here for a very long time. He's one of, if not the most successful coach in Avalanche history. But you have this amount of playoff disappointments, I'll call it. At some point, someone has to be held accountable. And at some point, you got to try to find somebody else that can maximize this group.
Normally, I don't like going to you also have to think about who they will get and who would be better than Bednar. I mean, there are veteran coaches that are out there. There are, there's a guy like David Carl who might be being courted by other NHL teams right now. I would be surprised. I mean, if you're DU, you figure the phone's going to keep ringing for Coach Carl.
Which is a good thing for DU, by the way. I know obviously they don't want to lose Carl, but you do that amount of winning, other organizations are going to notice.
No question. And NHL teams are going to notice. But I think in this case, it's a little different for me looking at some of the veterans who are out there who might be possibilities. And number one, going with the veteran coach has not been historically what KSE does. It just isn't. Right or wrong, good or bad, that they're going to hire young coaches and give them the opportunity to be the first-time head coach in many cases. And I think a lot of times they do that because of the money, which wouldn't be necessarily the way I would always do it, but it's always easy to spend somebody else's money. And so in this case, I think it is pertinent when I couple it with the question, where do I put the bulk of the onus for what happened in the series? I put the bulk of it on the players. I do. And normally I do. And yet, man, this is where I just go back and forth. Because as soon as I say that, I think, has the voice gotten stale? Are they listening? Are they tuned into what Jared Bednar, as much as I love him as a coach, and as much as they say they love him, are they really tuned in? Or was it as simple as they ran into a better team that's playing the best hockey of the season, better than maybe they could have imagined and that nobody saw coming, and they simply had the Avs number in this series? Or is that a cop-out? See, I mean, there's all these things into the soup that, in the quagmire that this sweep has tossed the Avs into.
Yeah, I don't think there's one definitive answer of I think this way and every other way of thinking is wrong. I would not put myself in that bucket. I just lean towards the fact that I think his message has gotten stale in the locker room a little bit. And to me, the biggest point of that is you got your backs against the wall in 3 straight games, basically. You had to win game 2. You lost game 1 at home. Can't afford to go down 0-2 at home, and they lose. All right, well, you're down 0-2. You go steal 2 in Vegas, and you're right back in the series. You lose game 3. You're literally against the wall, down 0-3, brink of elimination there, and that's the effort that you put forth in game 4. And you go back to putting the onus, the blame on the players. And when you say that, I'm assuming, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're not talking about 1, 2, or 3 players. You're talking about a collection of the players. And to me, when we're talking about the collection of the players are to blame, at that point, to me, that points to the head coach of not being able to get an entire locker room ready for the series. If it was 1 or 2 guys, at that point, for me, yes, you could absolutely take the weight off of Jared Bednar. You can look at those 2 guys individually. But when it's 10 guys not showing up the way you expect them to show up, that seems to me to be more of a structural problem than a individual problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think it's fair, Dante, because of what we saw over the course of this series. I do believe that Vegas caught fire and the move to Tortorella was the catalyst for that. So, of course, the coach matters. Of course, the messaging matters. And, of course, the tone matters. All of that does. And clearly, that was exactly what Vegas needed, because once he got there, they were undefeated or unbeaten in the last 10 games of the regular season, and then they've been a buzzsaw in the playoffs, 4-2, 4-2, 4-0. That's a wagon. And it's not just beating the Avs 4-0. It's the way they beat them 4-0.
None of them went to overtime.
No.
It was pretty clear cut. I think final of game 4 was what, 2-1?
Yes.
Okay, so they won by 2, they won by 2, they won by 2, and then they won by 1.
Right.
So,
it was the only 1-goal game of the whole series.
Yeah, that was the closest one it got, was game 4 there. So I think you are right. I think the Avs somewhat ran into a buzzsaw, but the Avs were supposed to be the buzzsaw that other teams were running into. So it's hard for me to be like, oh, well, you faced off against a better team, because all season we were saying the Avs were the best team in the league. All first 2 rounds of the playoffs, we were saying, yep, the Avs are the best team in the playoffs. Maybe you could throw the Carolina Hurricanes in there, but that wouldn't have been a matchup until the Stanley Cup final. So I don't know. I don't think it's fair to be like, yep, they lost to the better team. They ran into a buzzsaw. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm supposed to, and we're supposed to come on here with the opinion of here's what the Avs should do, here's what happened, and I got to be honest, Dante, I'm still digesting it all. I truly am. And our buddy Mike on the RamosLaw.com text line said something to the effect of, could it be that, are you sure they didn't push everything back, meaning the organization and any announcement on Coach Bednar either way, when the Claude Lemieux news happened? That certainly could be part of the equation. There's no doubt. As sad as that is and as tragic as it is, absolutely. Here's one for you from the 6951. The blame should be on player leadership. Landy, Nate, Makar. That's from Chris in Parker. I can totally buy into that. Makar was hurt and seemingly pretty seriously, so the fact he was out there at all for the final 2 games might be something that, maybe he, air quotes, shouldn't have been. But the fact is, Dante, I truly believe, I don't often come away sort of with my arms held out as wide as they can be, saying it really is the collective group that is, from the coaches right on down to every player on the roster that had a hand in this. I mean, the fingerprints are everybody's all over the series.
100%. And you don't lose 4-0 and just there's one person to blame. If you lose 4-0, it's usually because a lot of blame is to go around between these guys. And to me, that boils down to, again, it's going to be Jared Bednar here, but the identity of this team. And I don't think this identity is a identity that can be successful in the playoffs. I know we saw it the 1 year in 2022 there, but we're talking about 8 out of the other 9 years there that it has not been successful. And I would say at least 5 of those, the Avs were a top 3 cup contender in the league. So to only have one cup to show for it, to only have 2 Western Conference final appearances to show for it, to me that's just not good enough. And I think you got to really look in the mirror and decide if this style of hockey is the style of hockey you want to continue to play for the next couple of years here, while McKinnon and Makar and Landeskog are still here, and you still have this main core still in a championship window.
Right, but with that, I mean, the core isn't going anywhere. Those guys, I mean, there might be a piece or two. Like, I could see them, if they could find a trade partner desiring to deal, say, Val Nichushkin, to shed a little salary, and clearly this group, as it was made up this year, didn't go as far as they set out to go in spectacular fashion. But you're not going to disassemble the entire core. I mean, Mac isn't going anywhere. Makar's going to get an extension. Landy's not going anywhere. I mean, you think Brock Nelson is going to go anywhere? I mean, might they try? Perhaps, but then you still have a 2C problem, an issue. That wouldn't have been solved, and Nelson clearly in the playoffs didn't solve it the way the Avs thought that he might. So this is where I just go, on the one hand, I see this, and on the other hand, I see the exact opposite. If I heard in the next hour or in the next day or this weekend that the Avs had decided to move on to Jared Bednar, I would feel the range of emotions. I'd be bummed because I really like him and I think he's a terrific coach, and he will, if he wants to coach next year, have the opportunity to do that should the Avs let him. If on the other hand, I can absolutely see, maybe there just needs to be a new voice. Do I think of some of the veterans who are available that they are better coaches than Jared Bednar? Probably not. But Dante, sometimes, I mean, was Tortorella that much better of a coach than Bruce Cassidy? I mean, Cassidy has a cup to his credit. So I think I would say I get it. And then I think about, okay, I'm picturing the Avs bringing Bednar back, basically having the same core, maybe adjusting the fringes of the roster, things like that. And I go, why would there be a different result? Who's going to be the hot team next year that might get him?
No, and that's what I was going to say there when you were talking about adjusting the fringes, where it's like, hey, you get swept in the Western Conference Final. That's not a fringe issue. That is something much deeper to that. And going back to the Bednar conversation, I'm not trying to dump on Jared Bednar. I think he's been an incredible coach here in Colorado for the Avalanche, and especially with no experience prior to getting this job, I think he's done a tremendous job with the group. I just think it's the nature of the beast with head coaching in professional sports that it can't last forever. It never does. Even the all-time best coaches, it runs out of runway at some point. And Pat Riley moved to the front office in Miami. Phil Jackson left the Chicago Bulls. Phil Jackson left the LA Lakers. Like, it's just part of the business, and eventually you're going to have to move on to somebody else. And I'm with you. I don't necessarily think that they're going to go out and find a 100% knockout better coach than Jared Bednar, but sometimes the better coach isn't what you need. Sometimes it's just a new message, keeping those guys on their toes in the locker room, letting them know that what has been going on is not acceptable, holding them to a higher expectation, and just reminding them all that, hey, this is a business, and if we don't get the results we're looking for, then anybody is replaceable, including Jared Bednar. So I think that it would be worth the risk, and I think you can potentially squeeze out another cup or two if you do get a new voice, some new blood in the locker room, and just kind of reset for a second here.
So what do you think will happen? You mentioned that you thought that he would be back. Is that where
at this point? Yes, I felt like we would have probably heard news by now if they were going to fire him.
I'm with you.
I also have another thing that's kind of in the back of my head here of he only has 1 year left on his contract.
Right.
And I highly doubt he coaches on 1 year left of his contract. So it is kind of time for the Avalanche to decide, are we going to re-up him and sign him to an extension, or are we going to let him go and bring somebody else in here?
I mean,
do you see a scenario where he coaches the last year of his contract here? To me, that's almost disrespectful to Bednar.
Right. And would he, I mean, I guess I was about to say, would he want to? Well, what's he going to do? Like hold out with 1 year left on his deal?
Maybe he would. I actually asked Drew that the other day of like, hey, is there any precedent for coaches being like, hey, I'm not going to put up with this. You guys can go find a new coach if you don't want to give me an extension. He said there's not really, but it wouldn't surprise me if he's not on board of being like, all right, hey, you either – to me, those are the two options. I really don't see a scenario where they bring him back on 1 year here.
Man, I don't know. I don't think so either. But if you heard news that he got a 4-year, 3-year extension, how would you feel?
I don't think I'd feel good about it.
I wouldn't either, as much as I love him. See, and this is one of those true rare occasions for me personally that I go back and forth. I'm on one side of the fence 1 minute, I'm on the other side of the fence the next minute, because I do think it does. It's worth thinking about. Okay, if you hire a first-time NHL head coach, even if it is David Carl, let's just go down that road and do the mental exercise for 30 seconds or a bit longer. Okay, he's still a brand new NHL head coach. He's still. I know he knows hockey. I know he knows about the league. I know that if he wants to be at that level, that he will be a good NHL head coach. But is that where this team is? Is that when Joe Sakic and Chris McFarland and the guys in the room look at each other and say, what do we truly need? If it's not Jared Bednar. I mean, that's a fair question. What do they need? Would anybody have been able to get more out of this group when Vegas was playing like it was?
In this scenario with this Avalanche team where it's almost ready, set, go, you have so much talent, I would like somebody a little bit more fiery than what we've seen Jared Bednar. I love that he's cool, calm, and collected, and I think that's great for a long regular season. And if you're going to be there for multiple seasons, the way Bednar has been here in Colorado, but I think sometimes that playoff hockey, you need to rile the guys up a little bit, and I think that's what Torts did in Vegas. I think he's more of that fiery head coach style, and obviously it worked in terms of turning this team around in Vegas, where obviously they are very talented, and they'd gone out and won a cup with a handful of this same core. But if you're not maximizing those guys' efforts out there, I think it's time to make a change there. Like I said, and bring in somebody a little bit fiery or a little more fire in them, and really kind of put these guys not in their place necessarily as the players, but just kind of give them a little bit of a wake-up call is how I would say that.
Well, okay, so a couple of things. Mike on the RamosLaw.com text line says they were all one-goal games versus Vegas. The first 3 games had an empty net goal at the end. I don't know. I'm not going to – first off, the margin was not a one-goal margin. And number 2, the Avs were thoroughly outplayed in the series. That's where I come down on that.
I don't think it was like a weird bounce away from the Avalanche winning that series.
No, I don't either. This is a really interesting text that I'm glad, and I don't know who it was. It's from the 2678 on the RamosLaw.com text line. Did you guys hear anything about a report that said the coaching staff of the Avalanche had a game plan and the players did not follow it? I think it was Logan O'Connor after Game 4 that alluded to that very point. And I will say, Dante, maybe, I mean, players when they know that a coach's fate is in the balance, and the Avs players are smart enough to know when you get swept in this fashion that with 1 year left on his deal, Jared Bednar's fate is in the balance as head coach of the Avs. Players will often fall on the sword because they like playing for the coach, because they feel badly about what happened, whatever the reason is. And there might have been an element to that. But at face value, I found Logan O'Connor's comments on that topic really, really interesting. And a little more than a little troubling, quite honestly, because it's like, wait a minute, you didn't follow the game plan. If that's true, then to me it's the onus belongs on the players more than the coaching staff.
Well, doesn't that almost speak to the point we were talking about earlier of has Bednar lost the locker room? If they're not following the game plan that he sets forward, to me that's even more of a reason that Bednar might be
I hear that.
His time's up here in Colorado.
No, I hear that. I get it. And yeah, that's a fair point. But whose job is it to truly motivate players, Can you create an atmosphere that leads to that? I think coaches can, and that needs to be part. I mean, clearly Tortorella has. Whatever he has said, whatever he has done, whatever he has instilled, that has been what Vegas has needed. At the same time, these guys are pros. They're earning gazillions. At what point is it fair to say, look, you've got a head coach that sets a game plan and you don't execute it because you think not executing it is going to lead to a better chance of winning? That doesn't make sense either to me.
No, it doesn't. But also, if you're, I'm going to relate it to a classroom. If you're a teacher and you have 30 students that underperform what your expectation was, is that on the 30 students or is that on the teacher? And I get that those are children and these are grown men playing the sport, but I think it's still somewhat of an apt comparison here.
Yeah, especially if it's like a high school class or,
maybe
or
a
a college class.
Yeah, exactly.
An older, not an elementary school class.
Well, either way, I think it all comes down to the teacher on that point, and I think at this point it comes down to the coach that he couldn't get all of the guys ready to play, or not even any of the guys ready to play outside of maybe 2 or 3 of them.
Well, and that has been in the playoffs under Jared Bednar, the history of the Avs.
There's a real trend there.
There is, and I can't sit here and just ignore that. I mean, and then it speaks to the roster construction because Chris McFarland said that he knows what kind of players Coach Bednar likes, and there isn't as much conversation as there used to be because he knows the qualities that Bednar likes. And in the playoffs, is that the right kind of makeup to have? And yet, if that's the identity of your core, I mean, what do you want to have a grinded out style with McKinnon, Makar, some of these high flyers?
I think you could have a more of a grinded out style than what they have, and I think that would lead to more playoff success than what we've seen. Because obviously, the identity that they've built is not built for playoff success.
Here's the bottom line. As reluctant as I am to say it, because I know the Avs would be watching a good coach walk away. If I had a vote, I would vote to have a new voice as the head coach.
I would second.
And it pains me to say that. First off, I hate talking about other people's jobs. And second off, I love Jared Bednar. I'm looking at the results going, are they, on balance, are they in the postseason where the Avs feel like they should have been, not just this year, but in the last 9 years preceding as well? Not sure.
And I'm going to echo everything you just said there. I really like Jared Bednar. I think he's done a great job here. I think he's a professional, the way he goes about his business. Not a lot to not like there. But again, I think at some point it's just time. And it sucks, but it happens in relationships. It happens at work. It happens everywhere where sometimes it's just best for two parties to mutually part.
Yeah. We shall see how it turns out. I don't think that's going to be what happens, though. I think he will be back.
No, I would assume so. I don't think you can drag it out much further into the offseason.
Yeah, and we don't know why. We don't know. In fairness, I'll just say I don't know exactly why there hasn't been an end-of-season presser to this point. There could have been a myriad of different reasons, which we've speculated on this show and many others as well. Should be an interesting weekend. We'll see if there's any news that comes out regarding the Avs. The Broncos, we know, will have a new offensive coordinator that, Davis Webb is going to have to settle in calling plays. We don't know exactly what the offense will look like. We also know there's continuity on the defensive side of the ball, and yet are expectations fair for that group? That's next.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
DenverSports 104.3 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child, ages 8 to 14, will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South.
Don't give them room to breathe!
And Every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado, so your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at DenverSports.com/camp. That's DenverSports.com/camp.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Spring cleaning isn't just for your house, it's for your life. If your job is getting old, it's time to clear the clutter and spring into IT. Go to My Computer Career.
My Computer Career helped me get the skills and certifications I needed to start a new life as an IT professional in months, not years.
Earn the certifications the top employers are looking for right now. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation to see if it's time to spring into IT. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
For many of us, it's happened before. Your hair is thinning, crowns disappearing. Maybe the hair loss has you feeling your identity is lost altogether. The solution that worked for me, it's an incredible yet simple one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day. And it's guaranteed to grow for life. It's the Advanced FUE from Advanced Hair. We've all seen the pills and lotions that come with monthly subscriptions. They help retain what you have, but what if you want your own natural hair permanently in specific areas? From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facilities to world-class Dr. Tanya Paul's, it's not maybe your hair will regrow, it's guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's why Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts, call 720-459-HAIR. That's 720-459-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Stoke here for ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Are you in the market for a new air conditioner? Well, hold on. You need to think about a heat pump. My team at ROX are Colorado's heat pump experts and rebate specialists. Get up to $12,000 in energy rebates and credits. These savings are incredible, but they're only available for a limited time. Only at ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair, ROX, rocks, heating and air.
How about 60 seconds that'll make you actually feel good for a change? Hey, Dan Jacobs with 303 Law 4040. You've heard me talk about the best free meal in Denver. And I had some listeners that had heard me talk about how I used to love to make brisket, but with outrageous beef prices, we just couldn't afford to do it anymore. We can't afford to feed that many people. Well, a guy, Barbecue Bob, showed up to one of our first and third Thursdays with a couple $1,000 of brisket so he could just help people. We're going to make free brisket here coming up in the next couple months for our best free meal in Denver. And then another guy, Fred, who runs the Ace Hardwares over on Guard Trail Road and Arapahoe Crossing. He said, from now on, all your fuel you need for that barbecue is on me. And another guy, Bobby Hancock from IHOP. He fed our volunteers and gave thousands of dollars worth of gift certificates to our people that take advantage of the best free meal in Denver. If you want to help, you can. Just spread the word. It's the best free meal in Denver every first and third Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. It's at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road. And if you have any questions, just call us at 303-LAW-4040.
This is Terry Wickstrom. Are you looking to buy a home that fits your senior needs? Consider a home equity conversion mortgage for purchase. With this innovative financing option, you can use the equity in your current home or savings as the down payment. With the FHA-insured HECM reverse mortgage loan, you may be able to buy a higher value home and keep substantial cash for savings with no required payments. For more information, call Mike Rabin at 303-396-2804 or go to madrivermortgage.com and MLS 1504779.
At Smart Local 9 Sheet Metal Workers, they provide highly trained sheet metal professionals ready to get the job done safely, efficiently, and with pride. Their workforce is also built through a comprehensive 4-year apprenticeship program. Find out more at smw9.com.
What's going on, everybody? Philip Lindsay here. And if you need serious car repairs but don't want the hassle of a shop, All Points Automotive is 100% mobile. From engine rebuilds to transmission replacements and all the mechanical work you need, they come to you guys. To book your appointment, visit allpoints-automotive.com.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
Mike and Dante with you on this Friday edition of Denver Sports Tonight. RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. The YouTube chat on the Fan YouTube page is presented by Shamp Honda. I want to finish our Avs discussion with this text, Dante, which you tell me what you think about the points our texter is making. We had these same conversations last year with that embarrassing series against Dallas. No one wants to see this team, including Bednar, run it back for a third time. This was the run back year from last year. I'm disappointed with this year's result, but I'm not surprised by it. Playoff disappointment is the standard for them under Bednar.
I think it's a little harsh, but I don't see any lies.
Well, it's harsh. Yeah, but I mean, let's.
I think he nailed it, to be honest.
I do too. I mean, I can't deconstruct any of those points in a way that is.
I can't argue with any of the points.
I can't either.
I really can't. So, to me, it makes sense. I think you need to bring in somebody, or I don't know if Bednar is capable of doing this, but you need to have a defense, a better defensive identity with this team.
But the defense was the best in the league.
Were you outscoring teams, or did you actually just have the best defense?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a fair point, too. I'm just so frustrated. Can I just be frustrated?
I think that's right.
All right, let's talk a little Broncos. Well, they'll be back on the field as off-season activities, the OTAs, and all of the preparation for the 2026 season continues next week. We know that the offense is going to be fun to watch. Well, we think fun to watch Davis Webb settle in as the play caller. There might be some moments where we all pull our hair out. We'll see how this offense comes together because there's so many questions, from the player acquisitions with Jalen Waddle being at the top of the list to the relationship between Bo Nix and Davis Webb, how that plays out. Will Sean Payton insert himself into play calling and all of that? We know that the Broncos need to increase production offensively. We also know that this defense carried the team through the first part of the season, and while certainly had some issues down the stretch, I mean, they were 14-3. And I think it would be fair to say, in large part, riding the defense virtually the entire season. Not perfect, but pretty darn good. There have been some changes there with Dre Greenlaw out. We know that they re-upped with some guys, and we know that a guy like Jonah Ellis is being talked about for a position change. Dante, I ask you, are you expecting this Broncos defense to be as good or better than it was a season ago?
I'm not. I think the loss of John Franklin Myers is going to show up pretty big for this team. And you've seen historically throughout the NFL, it's really hard to keep a defense as good as it's been. And this has been a top 5 defense the last handful of years here under Vance Joseph. So particularly last year, but or at least let's call it once Bo Nix got here. And I think it's really hard to keep that level of play. There's no real things I can point to outside of the loss of John Franklin Myers and outside of the fact that they've set the bar so high it's going to be really hard to reach that bar. I hope they do, but I think it's unfair to expect that.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm not sure that it's just John Franklin Myers. I mean, I think, again, I do think that the tougher schedule plays into it. I do, and that's not an excuse. I don't expect the Broncos to go 14-3. Newsflash: I picked 11-6. Dante, you did as well. But when I look at the defense, I mean, a lot of the guys are back to me. When you look at the inside linebacker duo, or guys who are going to be getting most of the reps, in Alex Singleton and Justin Sternad, They invested some money in those guys, and they invested the opportunity in those guys when they decided not to bring Dre Greenlaw back. I look at it and I say, Bonito, Cooper, Allen, DJ Jones, Malcolm Roach, Uwazurike came on. Will Savion Jones take another step? I mean, there's some pieces up front. And yet we know what they've done for 2 straight years with the sack numbers. At some point, is there just a natural regression? I think there might be. And again, I'm really doing my best not to be Debbie Downer. But
a regression doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be a bottom half defense in the league.
No.
That's not exactly what I'm expecting.
Or a bottom half team.
Exactly. I'm expecting more of maybe like an 8th to 12th best defense in the NFL.
Yeah, I would expect them statistically to not be quite where they were. Part of that is the opponent's slate that they're going to be facing. And I think part of it is I think there'll be some chemistry things that they have to get figured out. And then I just look at, as soon as I say that, so I'm in a conundrum. This is Conundrum Friday for me. As soon as I say that, Dante, I look at who they have in the secondary: Moss, Hufanga, Jones, PS2, J-Mac. Well, how are those guys going to take a step back? Not sure. The guys up front that I mentioned, they going to take a step back as a group? Is the absence of John Franklin Myers alone going to convince me that they're going to take a step back?
And if anything, you can argue that Jahdae Barron should be coming into his own.
He better be.
This year. That's a good point. He better be. That he will be a key contributor to this defense in a way he wasn't a year ago. So it is hard to argue that there's going to be regression. But, again, I think it's just hard to maintain that level of play for this team.
I will say, though, that I expect the offense to be better. I expect them to take more shots down the field, and I expect more big plays and chunk plays out of the offense. But I don't expect this defense to come close to falling off the table. That would be a massive disappointment, and to me, unrealistic, when the main losses were, as you mentioned, JFM, and from a name standpoint, not so much from a playing time standpoint, Dre Greenlaw. And if those are the 2 main losses that you have and everyone else is back, many of whom got big contracts, then they should be happy, they should be engaged, and they should be productive.
Is your biggest question mark still inside linebacker?
Yeah, it is for me this year.
Isn't that crazy that was the biggest question mark a year ago and it's still the biggest question mark?
It is. Now, I mean, could a young guy pop? Yes. I don't expect that. And I don't expect it on this defense when we've seen the level that they're playing at. I mean, it was a championship level defense last year for the Broncos on balance. It was in my mind, without a doubt. And I don't think they're going to fall on the table. So where's the room for the rookies? There shouldn't be room for a couple of rookies on a defense like this when you did the contract work that the Broncos did for a lot of these guys on that side of the ball.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Jonah Ellis. I think there's been rumors that he might take some snaps at inside linebacker.
Yeah.
I think that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
and maybe that pops.
Yeah, well, and I wanted to take a minute or two and drill down on that. Do you like that move, assuming it comes about?
I don't know. I'm you're talking about you're in a conundrum. That puts me in a conundrum because we saw what he can do on the outside, and it looks like there's some sparks there of what can be a future regular time player there. But also there's some question marks in inside linebacker, and if he can shore that up, then I'm all for it. But what I don't want is to get a master of none. And when I say that, I mean, yeah, all right, he's good on the outside. Yeah, he's kind of good in the middle, but he's not necessarily NFL caliber at either. I think that's the worst case scenario, and that is a scenario that's definitely on the table. But if he's able to go out there and be a difference maker at inside linebacker, I think that solves a lot for this defense and can even take it to the next level from what we saw a year ago.
And to me, part of the equation to answering that question, can he be a difference maker inside, is what's his buy-in level? When he has been on the rise on the outside, he's been on the rise on special teams, he's flashed regularly in both of those areas, Dante, I would almost rather them look to one of their rookies and say, all right, can we get those guys up into a place where they can contribute rather than move Jonah Ellis. Look, I'll trust Vance Joseph. I'll trust Sean Payton on the surface, and I'm hoping it works. I'm just hoping it works. Man, I feel negative tonight. I do.
I don't know how, Mike. You look outside. It's beautiful out. I don't know what this maybe it was all the traffic you had to go through on your way up here. That'll do it to somebody.
There was a little. Let's just say I made the trek down to Pueblo and back. Do not do that on a Friday afternoon. Do not make the trek back on a Friday afternoon. It will ruin your afternoon. Hey, we're going to talk a little baseball because some hardware is being given out, and the chase for a championship has also begun at a couple of different levels. That's next.
It's the ultimate showdown for a great cause.
Setting up the ultimate gold medal showdown.
On June 11th, Brandon Stokely goes head-to-head with Zach By in 100 Holes for Kids. 100 holes of golf. It's a one-day event all to raise money for Recruiting Classroom, whose mission it is to help kids play sports. Who will raise the most? That's where you come in. Pick your player, make your donation, and help kids win. To support Brandon Stokely, head to StokelyCares.com. To support Zach By, head to ZachCares.com.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group, and I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney, and the truth is I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. After 15 years and over 50,000 cancellations, I can tell you with confidence, we know how to get you out of your timeshare. Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit guide absolutely free with all your options for cancellation. Attorneys, this was meant to be funny, so please don't sue me, especially my friend Kenneth from Black River Falls, Wisconsin.
Call now for your free timeshare exit info kit. 800-881-8686. That's 800-881-8686. 800-881-8686.
T-Mobile has an exclusive bundle for customers 55 and up.
I'm Sarah Bowl.
Yeah, I'm Frank Bowl.
A reliable network is key for us. And with T-Mobile, it's been wonderful. And going to the 55 plus plan saved us so much money.
A lot.
And that's important. Trying to keep costs down. The home internet's been perfect. It's fast, it's quick. The setup was so easy, it took less than 15 minutes.
It was like, ta-da! If you want simplicity, coverage, reliability, you want the whole package, T-Mobile has it. Right now, T-Mobile customers 55 and up can get 2 phone lines on America's best network, plus America's fastest 5G home internet for just $30 each.
$30 per month each line with autopay plus taxes and fees. Minimum age 55. Pricing for home internet rely on 2 lines of essentials. Choice 55. $35 connection charge per line required. Best mobile network and fastest 5G home internet based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 2H 2025. All rights reserved.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today. Call 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Names that rhyme, takes that hit different. Shapiro and Piro is happy hour sports talk built for the modern fan. Local stories, hidden gems, and the mustache monologues you never knew you needed. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Subscribe now at Denver Sports 104.3 and get in on the action. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
Mike and Dante putting a bow on the Friday edition, getting you to the weekend. Wow. Dante said it earlier. What a spectacular day. Gorgeous night. Dante, this, I know for both of us, this kind of weather gets the baseball vibes flowing in a big way.
It does. That's why I was so bummed that Zach By stole my tickets to Sunday's game for the Rockies.
See how Zach is.
Right. See, that's the side of Zach By that the listeners don't.
No, and you know what? No, ZB's my guy, but I don't like the way he undercut your well,
he didn't undercut. He got him fair
and
square. I just thought that if I responded to an email 3 minutes afterwards, I would have been like first in line to get the tickets. Apparently not. Apparently Zach was 2 minutes after the email got sent out.
Well, he snapped him up. Hey, a little high school baseball around the area, around the state today. And I just want to run through some of the results. It is such a great time of year. Champions will be crowned tomorrow in classes 2A through 5A. The 2A championship will be down in Pueblo at the Runyon Sports Complex tomorrow. And top-seeded Forge Christian will be battling Monte Vista. Monte Vista has to win twice in order to win the championship. The 4A, or I should say 3A, let's go in order on the way up. That'll be at Butch Butler Field in Greeley. Number 1 University will take on number 6 D'Evelyn, which advanced to the championship round with a pair of wins today. 4A will be at the Air Force Academy in the Springs. Number 5 Pueblo County will take on number 3 Falcon. Pueblo County is in the driver's seat there, would need to lose twice. And the 5A title game, or games perhaps, series, will be at All-Star Park in Lakewood. And number 3 Regis has to lose twice, and they will take on number 1 A West, which snuck by Pine Creek today 2-1.
Oh, wow. And they had to fight their way out of the loser's bracket,
yes,
right?
Yes, they did.
Good
yes,
for them.
They did. Yeah, they did. Regis is 3-0 in the tournament, and the Raiders are in the driver's seat, but we know weird stuff happens in playoff baseball. So you'd much rather have to lose twice on Championship Saturday. But, I mean, Arvada West is the top seed, so it would not really be an upset if the Wildcats found a way to win 2. Going to be great action. I was taking in some of the 2A action down in Pueblo today, hence my journey back to the northern area here. Man, traffic was bad. I'll just leave it at that. People are battling it right now, so they don't want to hear me complain about it, but holy cow, it was something to behold. And there were some major upsets in the NCAA regionals in the college ranks, Dante, including the shocker of all shockers in Los Angeles.
Yeah, UCLA going down.
Man, oh man.
Crosstown rival St. Mary's taking them down. I love to see it. I want to say I saw it I was watching the game here during work, so I wasn't totally locked in. I want to say I saw a little graphic there.
Wait, you weren't locked into work?
Totally not locked in. Sorry, locked into the game itself.
I got you.
But I was peeking up here and there. I saw a graphic that this is, I believe, the first time the number 1 national seed has lost their opening game. It's double elimination, so they're not done yet. But lost it's a hard way out if you lose the first one, though. Lost the opening game since 1999. So you hardly ever see this.
UCLA is 51-7.
Yeah, but they're frauds, though. I was telling you in the commercial break, I'm not a believer in Big Ten baseball. I mean, more than half the teams are in cold weather cities. Like, I don't expect Michigan State to be good at baseball. I don't expect Rutgers to be good at baseball. I don't expect Iowa to be good at baseball. And these are the kind of schools that UCLA and Oregon get to beat up on all year. So
I get it, but UCLA is not a
UCLA is a great franchise, but program in general in college baseball. And when they were in the Pac-12, they were great.
Yes.
But they were always, in the mix, usually like an upper half Pac-12 school. You join the Big 12 and all of a sudden you're just dynamite. I don't think it's an accident. I think it's because of the level of competition you're facing.
Right. But that's where I go. UCLA baseball is not. It is Big Ten baseball by definition because they're playing Big Ten schools. That's not a Big Ten baseball program.
No, it's not, but it's almost unfair that they get to play Big Ten schools every week.
I hear you. I hear that.
Give me the Big 12, give me the SEC, give me the ACC.
How about number 4 Auburn going down to Milwaukee?
That's fun.
13-8. I don't mind seeing that at all. Number 9 Southern Miss loses to Little Rock 7-4. And there was one more that I lost track of. There was one other rather highly ranked team that went down. I'll try and find it here. But, man, oh, man, there's some upsets around college baseball. You and I agree. College baseball, I'll throw the high school ranks in there too because I just love the tournaments. The championship, the double elimination, 8-team tournaments in Colorado high school baseball. And first it's regionals, then super regionals, and then the CWS for – baseball at the college ranks, absolutely the best.
Oh, I love this time of year. I would actually argue that the regional, if you're a baseball fan at least, regionals weekend is better than the opening weekend of March Madness in basketball. And I'm not trying to compare the two to tear one down and promote the other. I just think if you're a baseball fan, you have to tune into these regionals. Every regional's 4 teams, double elimination, only one team's going to make out of it. You get host cities, which I think makes a big difference in college baseball versus the March Madness tournaments. It's all neutral site. You don't get as good of an atmosphere. Some of these SEC parks, they go nuts. Like Mississippi State, complete home field advantage there. It's fun watch.
The other seed that went down, number 10 Florida State, lost at home to St. John's in the regional, 6-5. So there you go. Dante, enjoy the weekend. Always fun to see you.
You as well, Mike. I'll see you Monday.
For Dante, I'm Mike. Thanks for joining us, and we will talk to you Monday on Denver Sports Tonight.
After a stunning defeat at the hands of the Golden Knights, are the Avalanche facing a similar reality as their Ball Arena counterparts?
Here's the stark reality. The championship windows for these two teams have closed. And so both teams need to move on to different coaches. Both teams need to shake up their rosters. The Nuggets have already shown that they're not willing to do that. Now we'll see what the Avs do.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Don't care for my friends at Roller Auction, leader in Colorado auctions for over 50 years. And they have one of my favorite auctions that's open for bidding right now that's ending June 3rd. A government fleet vehicle and equipment auction. This has SUVs, sedans, pickup trucks, utility trucks, dump trucks, police vehicles, trailers, various municipality equipment, and so much more. Open for bidding right now only at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
Denver Deck Builders is the #1 deck builder in Colorado. With me is the owner, Ron Gibbous. What is the advantage in building a new deck or replacing the old one?
If you were to spend $50,000 on a deck, probably increases the home value by $25,000 to $35,000. You will get some of it back when you sell the home. But do you want to use it to spend time outside with your family, with your friends, building memories and building relationships?
Start dreaming about your outdoor living space. Denver Deck Builders. Go to ddbonthefan.com.
You know, Shayna, when our grandparents opened Williams Jewelers in 1947, they had one guiding philosophy.
It's true. From a simple jewelry repair to that very important diamond engagement ring, we treat every customer like family.
Because you're sharing your life with us. That's the only way we know how to do business. I'm Dylan.
And I'm Shayna Williams. We're generational jewelers, creating heirlooms for the next generation.
Whether you're looking for that perfect diamond engagement